eyes made will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm back with another video, just getting a update on the current events that's going on right now, as well as exposing, decoding, and prophesying a lot of the end times revelations, as well as just things that have been going on that we are not aware of, that they don't be speaking about, and giving a different perspective on it, just a spiritual insight on it from Holy Spirit, also from my guides, angels, and also the Most High. And so what I want to talk about today is, did you hear about the tunnels, the secret tunnels that was found under the New York, I believe in Brooklyn, under the synagogue, as well as under the different apartments and the Jewish community? So they had just put on the news that there was a riot slash sit-in that the Jews were a part of, because they said they dug a hole under the synagogue so that they can have access to the synagogue after hours. And so there was a big hole in the synagogue, and synagogue is like a fancy way of saying the Jewish church, or where they go and they congregate and they practice the Talmud and they do their different Jewish Bible studies and different things like that. So they wanted access, a lot of the youth wanted access into their after hours. I'm not sure why they couldn't do their praying and their Bible studies at home after hours, but because they didn't have authorization, they wanted to go ahead and make a tunnel underground. So these tunnels were spanning, I seen a post that said 50 feet or 500 feet under the New York. And the synagogue is a very historical place in Brooklyn. A lot of people come and visit it. So it was a complaint that there was a hole in the wall. And so they wanted the state and the police wanted them to vacate the premises, so that they can fill the hole with cement and cover it up. Basically, trying to get it back in order. This is government property. They want to go ahead and close up the hole. However, these specific Jewish community and Jewish men were trying to sit in the wall so that they can have a sit out, and so they don't get taken and released from the property. And then other people were standing on the sidelines just to protect them or to riot. So basically, when the police came and ordered them to leave, they got in confrontation with the police and to stop them from leaving the synagogue. And so you just see a lot of chaos going on, a lot of savagery, thug mentality to try to jump the different police officers, as well as get their Jewish brothers and men, companions, out of custody. So I was watching that on YouTube, also was reading it in the news, and they tried to tell us the story of why even some of the conspiracy theories was coming out. A lot of different, an investigation is being made right now. But what I've seen from there, I've seen them pull out a bloody mattress. I looked at the video when they went underground and recording it. I seen a couple Modelos, those are the beers. I seen clothes, so they were under there getting undressed for some reason. I seen a baby stroller and a whole lot of other things that I seen downstairs that was not giving me, oh, let's build a tunnel so that we can go and pray at the church after hours. I was getting that this was trafficking. Sex trafficking, human trafficking, children trafficking, and a lot of these things been going on, and I feel like there's connecting them to the Underground Railroad so that there's easy access in and out to traffic underground in connection with other different cults and sex, Hollywood, and everything that's been going on within the Epstein Islands and everything in connection with that. Other people have came out and said it as well. And so what were they really doing in these tunnels, and why was it hidden? I feel like the state and the
Now, this agent right here that wrote this article to already do damage control and to already put it out there that we don't know what we're talking about, and basically that what the claims is false. So we already came up with the connection with the children, because a lot of people are saying that it's connected to the Children's Museum, and she's going to put in there, no, it's not connected to the Children's Museum. The Children's Museum is across the street. Like, ma'am, if they have a 50 feet tunnel going under the building, under people's apartments, how do you not think that the Children's Museum is going to be connected to this synagogue? And plus, the synagogue already had children in it, because the families of the families, as well as the people who come there for viewing because it's a historical synagogue. And also, she wanted to make it known that the claims were false about the sex trafficking going on under there, but she didn't say it's false. She said it's unfounded. So they use these special words and also saying different things. And of course, she's Jewish. And ma'am, you're getting paid by the same people connected to making these tunnels. And we don't want to hear none of that fact checking.
Police department, our government, who are protecting these certain criminals who are in high places, these wickedness in high places, protecting them and wanting to cover up the evidence of what's going on in the tunnels by feeling it was cement. But these people being very arrogant, being very wicked, and not able to come forth with what they're doing, and also allow judgment to take place and allow them to, come out and be the men of God. They say they're the tribe of Judah, but in the Bible it says that they are the synagogue of Satan in Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. So it's like the truth is coming out, what's really been going on. So now an investigation is being made. And I really think they need to go deep into this investigation, because why was there blood on that mattress? We have some questions. Why was a hole even being made, and how long has that hole been there? And people saying they was hearing them digging the hole under their apartments. We have different Jewish people leaving the scene, coming out of the sewers. Other people saying we don't do this in America, but this has been done in America for years. And it's all in connection with the human trafficking, sex trafficking that's been going on in the world. And so
Extremist students are accused of digging the tunnel so that they would be able to have access to the sanctuary after hours. And when a cement truck was brought in to fill that tunnel, the men stood in the tunnel, refusing to leave.
Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo is live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, with the very latest on this story. Anthony.
Dave, Lauren, we're learning new this afternoon that 5 of those 9 young men will be arraigned in court tonight, while the other 4 were issued desk appearance tickets, released, and expected back in court at a later date. Right now, the city's Department of Buildings investigators are inside this synagogue trying to determine whether it's safe for congregants to re-enter. I think all who've seen the video can agree it is both chaotic and bizarre.
Here they go with the blasphemy, the cyber witchcraft, the Jewish mysticism, the number gematria, as well as the programming that they do in the media. So you see his name is Anthony Carlo. And like I've been saying in my videos, they use Carl, Carlo, Car, all to represent Charis, which is Christ. So it means anointed mummy, and they originally had it as Carl's. And so they're connecting it with Messiah, basically saying, Messiah is the anchor, the head, and they're reporting in connection with religion, in connection with children, because it says all those who labor in a heavy burden come to me, as well as whoever hurt my little ones have to answer to me, basically. And they're better off in hell than hurting the children. And Holy Spirit is telling me that also the cars behind it is signifying something. So there's the bus that passed, and it had 250 on there. This could be how many children they had. It'd be the children are leaving, getting away. It can also be signifying Exodus, 250 people or 250 children. And then the bus that comes up behind the news reporter in the metro was symbolizing trafficking. Like the trafficking, this is confirming, Spirit is confirming, yes, the trafficking was going on. Children were involved. They were sitting in the walls so that the children and the women and anyone else, probably up to 250 people, could get away and give them some more time to stall. And then they were on the way. I seen the metro bus with the trafficking 43. They could have 43 bases underground that they are keeping these people at. And here's the Jewish mysticism and the Satanism that's being done. You see that block he has on his head, the Saturn or Satan's cube, which is connection with the Kabbalah as a connection with the cube of Saturn and the cube over there in Islam, and the Jews and the Muslims teaming up together to make the Cineverse, to make the connection with the mark of the beast, the technology that's going to be on the forehead and on the right hand, and this is the rabbi that had it as well. And this is why I made this video 7 months ago exposing the Black Sons of Satan, the Jewish Mafia and the Kabbalah, and decoding it. And also I noticed that they had the Kingston block behind them, like that was the street that this was on, also signifying the Kings of Kings. And you can see that they have been trying to come up with a story to overshadow the truth. It says that first it was the teens were using migrant laborers to dig the tunnels. Then it was saying that the young Jewish men were linked to making the tunnels, and the story keeps swapping over. Some of them to go in and get access and have prayer, the other ones to just connect it to a pool or some cleansing ritual. And so the migrants was in there because there were some migrants who were being held underground captive. And so they're going to, if there are any witnesses or anything comes about that there was anybody of Mexican descent or anyone of a minority ethnicity that is in there, they're going to say it's because they had migrant laborers digging that hole for them. That's why they were down there. That's why DNA's down there. That's why there's evidence that might come out of them being down there. And then they want to blame it on the Jewish children, the youth that, you know, kind of spazzed out and riot during that time, and say basically that they just wanted to pray, but they wanted to have access and authorization after hours. And then you see this literally Jewish man sit here and say that it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, 24/7. So why would they need secret access into the synagogue if it's open 24/7?
Usually only one time a year that it's closed for a few hours, which is the eve of Passover, which they have to clear it out, clean out the place. Other than that, it's open 24/7, so it's kind of hurting.
You know, they try to stop the truth from coming out. And a lot of people, they get their different payouts in connections with, if you have money, literally you can get away with anything in America or in the world, period. And so they use the people in high places and money to try to hide their deeds and try to get things covered up. But the truth, whatever's done in the dark will always come to light. I've been saying for years how I have seen the different children in cages underground being abused and used. And there has been other people in Hollywood, I forgot their names. I was supposed to do some research. But it was this one brother who was a producer in Hollywood, and another one who won the American Idol, and he became a singer in Hollywood, and how they both came together, came out with documentaries and movies about the different sex trafficking that's going on, the drugs, the alcohol, the human trafficking, the rituals, the abuse that goes on in Hollywood. However, it's never taken seriously, and both of those people have lost their lives to suicide or to car accidents and different things like that mysteriously. But they expose a lot of things that's going on with all the different gates, with the Pizza Gate, with the Illuminati Gate, with a connection with the Bootleg, connection with the Jewish, the Talmud, and the Mafia. And a lot of these people who we look up to, or no, I don't look up to these people, however, a lot of people in the world look up to them, and they run the different sects, and they run the different sections in the world of different parts of government, as well as the media. So a lot of the fake news, a lot of the propaganda comes out that way, and to get us to believe one thing when it's really another, to get us to think, oh, you know, to dumb us down and think, oh, it's not that really serious. They just wanted to go in church. They just want to go in the synagogue after hours and pray. Like, no, that is not true. Like, we were not born yesterday. Obviously something else is going on. Something's been going on in those tunnels. Those holes were so small that a child can crawl through those. And so much more other things that they are not being telling us, but we're going to find it out. We're going to dive deep into this. I'm going to go ahead and put in the videos in this, and we're just going to break it down and try to decode and see what they're saying in the news and what they're not saying, and how we can get to the bottom of it, and how justice can be made for the children and the women who were involved, and as well as punishment. There were 9 Jewish men already arrested, or not for whatever was happening in the tunnels, but what was happening during the protests, during the rioting, during the destruction of the government property, so they say. And so they were arrested for going against the police and doing a whole lot of things. And so these people had no shame in their game at all. Like, you can literally see them smiling, see them laughing, seeing them chanting. Chanting is another form of witchcraft. A lot of people think prayer and some is saying can be connected, and so the different things, like any type of language, you know, that someone doesn't know, you can be saying anything, and they're also doing their different praises and trying to rise their spirits up in the spirit realm by doing these certain chantings, by doing these certain saying these certain words and prayers. And they can also be able to get off freely with their different rituals that they do and the different prayers that they use. Even a lot of people in other communities know the power of prayer, the power of chanting, summoning, and all types of connections with getting into another power to try to free yourself from the certain conditions that you're in right now. So I feel like that's what they were doing, and they were also praising each other for standing up for whatever they were standing up for, trying to stay in the wall so that it doesn't get cleaned up and figured out, exposed, and destroyed. So it's just so much into the story that we don't know. They always leave us guessing. They always leave us wondering what is going on, and don't really give us a true answer. Just give us a story that we are going to be able to digest and just think it's okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine, and just go on about our life like nothing happened, never worried about the victims in the situation or justice being made on the people. And so, you know, it might just go on, and we don't know anything about the investigation. But I'm going to stay on this, and I'm going to be able to also see spiritually what's going on, able to expose and decode a lot of things, because they cannot shut us all up. And even if they try, you know, we can always say freedom of speech, as well as they try to label us as conspiracy theories, and just to make it seem like we don't know what the truth is going on, or that we're crazy and we shouldn't second guess whatever they put out in the news. But we know the same people who get caught is the same people who run the news, so it's not really gonna be anything being real. And then another thing, like the Epstein Islands, we were supposed to get a list. They pushed the list back, as well as nobody on the list. It has been 4 or 5 years. No one has been prosecuted. Nobody has been indicted, apprehended, or arrested. You can clearly see who runs the world and how money can get people out of things, and how different magic and different cloak and dagger, like hiding the evidence, hiding the things that go on, putting anti-Semitism on certain things, not speaking up, being paid out and selling out so that the truth doesn't get out, and so the people don't know what's going on. But our prayers is very powerful. I have seen multiple times when I had went into a deep meditation, and I was able to, when I found out about the things that's been going on underground in connection with the certain Jewish people, different mafias, different islands. This is not the, Epstein's not the only island. There's a Cleopatra island that they have been doing a lot of wickedness on as well, and other islands all around the world. And a lot of people who get initiated into Hollywood have to go through these different sexual rituals. So it's probably many more houses and mansions and churches and synagogues that are in payroll that are allowing these things to happen. But I see myself going into deep meditation, and when I went into this meditation, I ended up going to sleep. And I was underground, and I had found a couple of rooms with some children. I had grabbed their hands, and I was running out of the rooms, and it was kind of a room that looked like one of those like playrooms for children, like a playground kind of room. And there was these men on the entrance and the exit of the place, trying to stop us from leaving. And so I ended up running uphill, like coming out of the underground and up into the earth part, and trying to free the children. And I don't remember if I had got caught at the end of the dream or if I was just like woken up. But most of all, a lot of these dreams are signs and warnings and prophecies from the Most High, revealing us what's really going on, and also showing us what's going on, because a lot of these people are praying out to certain people, they're calling out to certain people. It's going on right below our feet, so we are connected to it some way. If it's not physically, energetically, just picking up on vibration, just picking up on energy, and just setting the intention to go out and find these children or find these women and help them. And just a prayer can connect you to certain people and help you and save certain people's lives, and getting the word out, not, you know, staying silent during this time. That's what they have. That's why they always do this, a vow of silence, and they don't want us to speak on these things, because the words we speak are powerful. Words can be spells, as well as we can speak things into existence. We can expose certain things, put light on certain things, and reveal certain things that's going on. And so a lot of those things can be able to be a big impact and help certain people. And even if they say that these things are not going on, in every movie they always want to connect it with the different cartel, the different Mexico. And I'm going to have a video in connection with the border, in connection with also the presidential elections and everything that I feel like they are trying to initiate into the media. I had also seen under this one school, I was taking an elevator once again underground, and which I feel like is connection with also the draconians and the reptilians as well, certain creatures and certain people who are not fully human or have been transmutated, and science project, everything with connection with all the different science projects that they used to do, going back to Hitler and all the human experiments that they used to do. But going underground, and the elevator was going down, and I actually was with Trump, and so when I was walking, I was behind him. I was like invisible in the spirit, but we was in a school, and we went underground a school, and there was children. One was on a laboratory kind of like medical bed, but it was like the silver kind of beds. Other ones was just all around and like trying to talk to me and trying to help me, you know, leave out, and if they wanted to come with me. So I ended up opening this door. I think there was a camera as well. I think there was a camera as well. And so Trump was going downstairs, and so I was behind him, and I kind of like did some funny face at the camera, like I knew somebody was watching. And so then I ended up finding a secret passageway, like a door, and I opened the door, and then we all got out and escaped. And so a lot is going on under these churches, under these schools, under these different buildings, even different apartments. Like, if you know, like people's secret passageways, like in those old movies, and even the old movies, they speak about people who are getting kidnapped and getting taken and going through a whole lot of different experiments in connection with drugs, in connection with a whole lot of illegal activity. Those things really be going on, and a lot of things don't make the news. Even they just came out with that movie, oh my goodness, that movie with the man who even played Jesus or Yeshua in The Coming of Christ, and also Monte Cristo. I'm gonna put his picture up here. I do not remember his name, but he just had that movie, and he was a police officer who went rogue and just went on a whole hunt to go find these children. And so they put it right in our faces and telling us what's going on in these movies. But you know, us taking it as entertainment, also taking it as mockery, laughter, fake news. I've seen a couple of skits about the different tunnels under the synagogue, and you know, some of the things that was made mockery and made for laughter, everything to just throw us off and get us to think that it's not serious. It's definitely serious. As one who was born in I want to say it was a Muslim cult, but being trafficked, human trafficked, being taken from place to place. Like, I had, before I was 14, I was in probably like 10 different cities and states, and literally working in bakeries, working in construction, working in warehouses, working in diners, and working in factories, everything. And people didn't know. And I literally, at night when it got dark, we would go into different trucks, we would go in different cars, and the different trucks had beds in them. And so it was like normal for us to travel in these trucks, normal to travel in these cars and be on the road at night and stop at different gas stations or stop at different quick trips. Nobody ever questioned it, nobody ever asked. We couldn't tell people that we couldn't come out during when it was light outside, because they would ask us, why are we not in school? That's what they would always tell us. So we had to literally stay inside during the day, unless we were going to go sell cookies at Walmart, or we were going on to go sell cookies in somebody's shopping store, and bean pies and all different kinds of things. And so these things going on every day, but we don't ever know, we never ask, we never pay attention, we don't care, because they're not our loved ones, they're not our families, or we don't know what's going on, or we just, you know, want to just hide and not speak on certain things and not be a whistleblower. Or some people want to say don't snitch on stuff. And so a lot of those things be going on. And so, you know, what are we going to do about it? You know, we're just going to continue to allow things to happen and just allow the evil people to get away with it? Like, for real, we're going to have to really stand up and use our power, use our strength. If we can't physically get justice, we need to spiritually get justice. We need to literally start throwing these spiritual hands, or try to get some type of ancient power that we have within us, awaken our true self, call out to the Most High to get judgment and justice, and to put the right people behind bars, or to get the righting of the wrongs of what's going on, balancing the scales. That's that Mayat energy, the justice, the system. The justice system actually has the scales. As for the scales of Mayat, the light, the feather is lighter than the heart. If our souls is pure, if our hearts are pure, if our hearts are open, awakened, and vibrating on the highest energy and loving each other, appreciating each other, not breaking the laws and the commandments of the Most High, as well as the laws of balance. And so justice has been only putting in the people, the true people who are of power and awakening, behind bars to get us to be suppressed in a way. The only thing that the prison has done is have justice. Some people have gotten their punishment. Other people, it has been a place where they can just basically have legal slavery. If you all haven't heard, like I said, the prison system has just been a place where people can literally do legal slavery and get away with murder, get away with harming the different melanated people and other people that they want to get out the way. And so there was a jail in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. They found 215 bodies, dead bodies, with a cross on top of it, labeled. And this was behind a prison or a jail. And so now an investigation is being made. Like I said, everything is coming to the light. Everything is coming to the truth. Even if we don't get physical justice, spiritual justice will be had. These souls are crying out. They don't know that each time they kill one of us, we're all connected. We're all family. If you white or if you black, we all come from one source anyway. But when we kill a person, their soul goes in, their soul and their spirit goes, parts of it goes to the living people in their family. So that's why people get their intuition and they get an uneasy feeling like, where's my brother? Where's my sister? What's going on? I feel like something's wrong. I have an ickling feeling. And that is part of the different souls and spirits and vibrations going to different, is letting us know what's going on. So the blood is always going to speak out. Even if we talk in Bible, how when Cain killed Abel and his blood was crying out to the Most High. Just like how in Revelations, how the different people who are going to be martyred as casualties of war during the war between good and evil, light and dark, and the fallen angels and the heavenly angels, as well as us as saints on earth, the chosen people of God, 144,000 against the different demonic spirits who are possessing certain people, jumping in certain bodies, these clones, these drones, and all different kinds of reptilian, draconian, and alien species, fallen angels, splicing creatures who have been coming against us for so long, hiding in the dark, going underground. This just like us, like them dying and getting their white robes and telling God, like, when can we be avenged? Like, that is what's going on with all these people that's being killed. Their spirits and their energies is going into their family members, going into the earth. The earth is crazy right now, going through a whole lot. They want to say global warming, but things are being put upside down because it's literally the earth is crying out. The spirits are crying out. Our family members are crying out. And so justice is to be had, and they're telling what's going on, what has been happening. So now these bodies have been found and they were behind the prison or the jail. And this woman, Miss Wade, she had her son Dexter Wade, who was on a highway. He went missing on a highway, and so his body was actually found behind the prison. So at first I'm thinking, oh, 215 bodies found behind a prison. They must have, died in the prison or was killed in the prison by certain corrupt, we have a lot of corrupt officials, a lot of corrupt different officers who are in play, who are just in it for the money or whatever they're doing, and they got taken out. But to save a lawsuit, or to just like save some time or whatever, they put them and buried them behind the jail. I also read that prisoners were demanded to bury these people as well, and they had no choice to do it because they would be like, this gonna be your fate too if you say anything. And plus, they're already incarcerated, they're already in prison. Imprisonment causes an imprisonment on the mind, a caging of the spirit as well. And so it leaves somebody or a person to be very fearful, as well as to be on edge, as well as to always feel trapped in. And so they would do anything if they're forced or coerced to do it, or even paid to do it. This man, he wasn't even in jail. He just went missing on a highway, and this woman was calling for the police to do something. And then to find out that this man was behind the jail the whole time and has nothing to do with the jail, that's how you know that certain people are being killed in these streets or on just doing their job, not even, have anything to do with law enforcement. But if they have a hit on them, or if they come into a situation where they can't legally be put behind bars. They are being killed and taken out and then hidden behind this jail. And a lot of the different corrupt officials is getting away with it. A lot of the different murderers and people, let's just call it what it is, they're just murdering, slaughtering, killing people. Just demonic frequency, demonic spirits trying to take out a lot of the tribe of Judah. This is the part of the Jacob's trouble. This is the true tribe of Judah. And this is what the Jacob trouble in the scriptures speak about, the slaughtering of our people, how we have been massacred, and how we have gone through the true slavery, the true Holocaust, more than any other race, and have not been compensated, have not been protected, have not been spoken up for.
Atrocities which the tribe of Judah endured fulfills the Deuteronomy curse, where the Holocaust does not.
Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
400 years. Match. 4 years. No match.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Carried into slavery in ships. Match. No slavery ships. No match.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Scattered across the earth. Match. No scattering across the earth for slaves. No match.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
Wore yokes of iron. Match. Yokes of iron were not the standard. No match.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Africa to America 8,576 miles. Match. Shipping distance by train 400 plus miles. No match. Judites did not understand English. Match. Yiddish and German share vernacular. No match. Satan and his agents can only imitate prophecy, and now the charades is over. Hitler is not to be admired. He was a satanic warlock, a deceiver, and has his place of torment in hellfire. The time has come to awake from the agents of Satan deceptions, and repent from rejecting, abusing, and disrespecting the tribe of Judah. The Messiah, Louis Eternal, springs forth out of Judah. Any who curse Judah are cursed, and all who bless Judah shall be blessed. Hallelujah.
And it's no reason why all these people who are in high places, I'm speaking about the different celebrities, I'm talking about the different celebrities and the different politicians and the different actors who have a whole lot of money are not standing up for our people, not speaking in for our people. There is no reason that Kim Kardashian should be the person to get some of our people who are wrongfully in prison out of prison, and people like Beyonce and Oprah aren't doing a thing. They're just making more money and we're getting entertained, but they're taking our money as they just sing us to sleep, put a movie on television, tell lies to our vision, programming to sleep. But we have people like Kim Kardashian and other people, and the lawyers, Ben Crump, and all those other powerful brothers and sisters in civil rights movements, people who are standing up and doing things more than these other people that we put on a pedestal, that we go and we give our money and energy to, energy harvesting, as our people suffer day in and day out. She's not the only mother who have came forth. There was other mother, not even melanated, but other races who have came out and have their children missing and have been found behind that prison. And so it's not just us. We are at war. We are at straight war, and these people do not care. They don't think of us, even in back in the day when they didn't even think of us as a whole human. We were like 1/4 of a person. They just think, oh, this is just a nobody. You know, if they have the power and if they have the will, they're going to try to continue to take a lot of people out. And so you have to be able to be street smart as well as spiritual smart, as well as armored up in the spirit with the whole armor of God, and then having the backings of the angels, the ancestors, and the Most High, and all other types of power and forces and ancient influence to try to get away from a lot of the traps that they set for us and get away from the different attacks. They have their physical guns and they have their different laws to be put in place to try to stop us by all means necessary and kill as much as they can. And it's all being a sacrifice at the end of the day. So, said that he was the 671, I believe, was 672, and so we got that 67, which brought me to my old video when I was talking about the 6/7 being the material, the spiritual, material physical body over the spiritual inheritance and spiritual body. And so this 6/7, as well as causing that blasphemy in there, and also the demonic frequency, and then that's showing that it's over 600 people behind that jail. They have only identified 251. These are where these missing people going to. These homeless, we getting hit with a blizzard right now, an Arctic blast, and there's many homeless that are, you know, might not have a place to stay and might go missing. And I feel like it's all for experiments, it's all for certain hits on people's lives, it's all for human trafficking and everything else. And so I just felt like that was just terrible, because she's seeking justice for her son. He had nothing to do. He wasn't even in jail. Other people, they're calling jailhouse wondering where their loved ones is and getting no response. And I've noticed that they have put these different people, prisoners, they transition them, or they switch them between a lot of different jails and a lot of different prisons a lot. If there's one jail that's a whole lot of lockdowns, or people getting a lot of fights, or that jail is shut down or bought by another company, then they go take them to other places around the world. Just keep moving them and moving them. And the amount of a prisoner in one jail, they're getting banked. Like, they're getting a whole lot of money. And so, you know, I know it's not just all on the evil powers that be. Some of us do some things that will get us in situations, you know, caught up with the law. But if you're doing things right, then you wouldn't be put in that situation. Or if you're vibrating on a high frequency, a high vibration, you wouldn't come against those circumstances. And you'll be able to do, you know, make sure that you're protected in all realms, in all dimensions. A lot of these people that are set up and framed, that be going on daily. You know, I've had it almost happen to me several times, that they just want to shut up and lock up and put behind bars. And so they really have no choice but to have to deal with those things, and then to have to deal with the persecution and then going missing. And these people are heartbroken because they're unable to find their loved ones, and they're unable to get the justice and truth, just knowing like what happened, what went on, why, some closure. They're unable to get that and experience that right now. And so we're just calling for the absolute truth to come out, the justice to come out, for judgment for these certain people, calling on the power of those who have passed away. That's why they say their name. It is a ritual when, you know, the Black Lives Matter, even that's, you know, not even for Black lives. We're not Black. We have the literally people who dress in black, the Jewish. There are the men in black. We are brown skinned. We are copper colored. We are the natives of this land. We are the original man. And so, you know, putting a label on us as black, trying to get us to disappear. And there is like so much, like when they say the Black Lives Matter, and it was a group for the different LGBT community, the trans, and then the one thing with like cis, I don't understand why we're being called SIS, cis anyway. Like, we have literally physical anatomy of a woman, bleeding, pain, torture, everything for a woman, and then to be called a cis. And then other people who are not born and bred women, to say who we are or to speak up and say that they're a woman is kind of strange to me. I'm not going to speak on it too much, but for that Black Lives Matter movement to not truly be for Black lives, and then to get the money and the finances and the funds and go and get mansions and houses and live lavishly like all the other Hollywood people who are all in on it, and not get no type of justice, no type of judgment.
Jackson's mother says her son was hit and killed by police in March, but by the time she was notified about his death, he was already buried in a pauper's field. Now, the Hinds County District Attorney is weighing in on the incident. 12 News' Leah Williams is covering this story. She joins us now in the studio with more. Leah?
Melanie Bettersing Wade says her 37-year-old son Dexter Wade was killed on March 5th, but she wasn't notified until August 24th. The city says it was a miscommunication, but the Hinds County DA is reviewing the incident. Betterstein says she reported Dexter missing on March 14th and followed up with JPD multiple times, but she wasn't able to get answers until August, even though her attorney, Ben Crump, says the coroner's office identified Dexter and turned it over to JPD to notify his family on March 9th. The city says it was an accident and there was no malice. In the meantime, the Hinds County District Attorney sent a statement saying, quote, "Our office is working with the Jackson Police Department, Hinds County Coroner's Office, and other relevant agencies to conduct a full review of this matter. We ask for the public's patience as this important work is undertaken." The DA adds that the review will be thorough, complete, and transparent. Byron, back to you.
Peep that her name was Leah Williams. And there's a Leah in the Bible who is the mother of 6 of Jacob's sons, and including Judah. That's why I said this is Jacob's trouble that we're going through right now. The 12 tribes of Israel, you see they have the eye and the 12, meaning that the Jewish, the eye, because they run and control the news, is watching the 12 tribes of Israel. And then the connection with her last name being Williams, because the Most High is the I am that I am. When he presented himself to Moses, he said that was his name, and we do the will of the I am, the will of God, so they keep the William in there. Jacob, or being that it's in Jackson, Mississippi, and I had spoke about how the breakdown of Jack's son, because Jack is a nickname for Jacob, and he had the 12 sons, being the 12 tribes of Israel. And so it was Jack's son. Also, the Messiah comes from the tribe of Judah and the son of David. So they connected all that way. Just sneak this in, talking in codes, talking in numbers, and all the kind of blasphemy, witchcraft that they do. Half of us don't even know, like, Bible prophecy and Bible decoding and different things like that, or even Freemasonry and how they put these things in the media, but they still do it to brainwash us, to program us, and putting the names out there, and we're just not connecting the dots, not seeing with our spiritual eyes the spiritual attacks and the threat that they're posing and coming against us.
It's just not, it's not making sense. And then when they say her name or say his name, it's kind of like summoning that spirit or that person, but it's also calling on the energy and the frequency that they need. We have a lot of people who have passed away who are warriors in our ancestors and history, who are warriors and powers. And so when you call on that name, you're calling on that, you're embodying the energy that they came with, the frequency that they came with, to do certain things and change certain things in the physical realm, because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with other powers who are using certain Kabbalah, gematria, witchcraft against us, as well as human sacrifices for certain things to happen, and also trafficking for money and drugs and alcohol for the different finances that they have to keep the world running. Why they won't be getting rid of the dollar. They continue to tell us and threaten us with that, so that we can think of inflation, so that we can be like, oh yeah, we're not gonna have no money, there's no kingdom finances, we won't be getting inheritance, when we are the salt of the earth, we're the fruit of the earth, we're supposed to be having everything. We shouldn't have to work jobs to get anything, because all this that has been created in America has been done on the back of the slaves of our different ancestors that have walked this earth before us. And so everything should be free. There shouldn't be nobody regulating how much water to get, or if you're gonna pay for water, or even paying for air now, even the air being poisoned with the chemtrails and everything else that's been going going on. And so these bodies, these spirits, these energies are speaking out, and they're calling ultimate persecution to stop, on the persecution on the saints, the gang stopping to stop, as well as for those who have been doing the hidden hand, who have been trying to, in the different Freemasonic lodges and the different rituals and the different people who have all been put in place to try to stop us, the different cults, the different religions, to try to distract us so that we don't go within, and so that we don't get the kingdom of heaven that is within us and bring it to the outside of us. Get the power and get vengeance and revenge, spiritually, mentally, and physically, for all the lives and the innocents that have been taken during this time. And so I'm putting light to the darkness and balance to light. I pray that you and yours is protected and erected. Thank you for watching the video. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I got a whole new setup. I'm really liking it. Some good lighting going on and a good studio background. And so I'm really trying to focus on a lot of the messages that the Holy Spirit, the Most High, my angels, my ancestors is pushing me to speak on. A lot of connecting it to the visions that I've had. A lot of connecting it with the times that we're right now in times, as well as the coming of the New World Order and a lot of different things that people don't speak on. So I hope that I can give you some insight, some knowledge. You can go ahead and let me know if you want me to speak on anything and if I need to expose certain things, because I'm very good in the business of decoding and exposing. And so I'm putting light to darkness, by light, praying you, yours protected and directed. Shalom and peace.